Christian Illuminati.
Right.
Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
Okay, so I don't necessarily use those terms.
Okay.
You know, I call it the good old boys club.
Okay.
That's how I use it.
Got it.
It does exist.
What is it?
It's an elite group of Christian ministers. I don't know too much about the influencers because I don't really deal with like the podcasters segment of it, but because I travel and I preach in mega church platforms, you know, there is a group of gatekeeper Christians that are considered by the Christendom to be the ones that are, you know, in control of everything, who go out of their way to protect their brand at all costs, even at the point of secrets. I've seen it. When I got to those platforms, I was very disillusioned by it. I remember coming home and telling my wife, the more higher I go, the more dirt I see. And I remember telling my wife, I don't want to be influential no more. You know, keep in mind, I've traveling the world. I've been in, and I'll share this the first time. It's the first time I'm sharing this on there. I went to go preach at a church one time, and I went with my youngest son. I took my youngest son with me to serve, as my assistant and help me out, you know. And after the service, we go to the back and we're eating in the green room, and I'm, and they're serving, drinks, and for some reason, everybody's just a little bit too playful and weird. It just had a tipsy vibe to it, and in one of the drinks, I smelt the drink, and it smelt like, orange juice and like, not vodka, because I don't think vodka has a smell, but it had alcohol in it. The church leaders saw that I was uncomfortable with it. So
where was this happening again?
It was in Brooklyn.
I mean, so was it at a party or was it at a church? Or?
It was after. It was in Brooklyn, New York. It was after a big church function that I was the guest speaker.
And it was at a church building?
It was in a church. It was in a building that the church owned. It wasn't exactly in the church, but it was in a building that the church owned.
But it was a church associated.
It was a church. It was the fellowship afterwards and stuff like that. And we were all eating and they were celebrating. I think they might have been in a church anniversary or something. I was the guest speaker. We had a really great time.
So it was a church event.
It was definitely a church event, 100%.
Right.
And I remember feeling immensely uncomfortable. And I just looked at my son. He happened to be, I think, maybe 16 or 17 at that time. I just went to the pastor because I was fellowshipping and I was introducing him to preachers, welcome to my world. And I just looked at, when I got uncomfortable, that I realized what it was. It wasn't like full-blown alcohol. It was just a mixture of stuff. I just said, I joked with the pastor and I said, man of God, I can't drink this. Am I going to drink something that, my son doesn't have a license? I joked with him to let him know, like, I'm uncomfortable with this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I hope I don't have to need a designated driver after this because this, and he was like, oh, don't worry about it. And I just was like, God bless you. I took my son and I left. And I was like, I never went back to that church ever again. And I actually disconnected myself from this particular person. So I've seen it. On another time, I went in another really big, and I'm not saying all mega churches are like this, so I don't want to broad brush, but I went to another event, and I was the afternoon speaker, and then you had the evening speaker, so we had a really great time, And then we go to dinner, and we sit there, and I kid you not. Now, I'm at the table with preachers that I looked up to. You ever, when you want to meet a preacher that you looked up to, you finally meet them. Yeah. I don't want to talk about anything other than tell me your experiences in the Lord and how did the Lord speaks to you and blah, blah, blah. All they talked about was money and how many people came to the event. They saw that I was uncomfortable. So they just try to bring up a conversation. So Pagani, you do the deliverance stuff and blah, blah, blah. This and that. They saw that I was uncomfortable. And then I saw what they ordered. But this time they could see that I'm uncomfortable. And I was just like, I text my wife at the table. I said, I can't believe all this time I wanted to meet this particular, and this is what I'm seeing behind the scenes. I'm out. I literally found a way to kind of get out of there. And I went to my hotel room, waited for my flight the next day, and I left. So what they're talking about is not far-fetched. It's just not in the forefront. This is why, and this is going to make sense to your viewers who have followed me throughout the years. People throughout the years know me. Why is Pagani always screaming on something? Why is Pagani always exposing something? Why is Pagani always bringing about cult church this and false apostle that? It's because what they are saying, the people that you mentioned, it does exist. I've seen it with my own eyes, and throughout the years, I've called it out.
Hey, if you enjoyed this clip and you want to see another one like it, you can click the video over here. And if you want to watch a full episode of the Cap Chatfield Show, you can click this one right here.